Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back. I hope that you guys are continuing to stay safe and sane and healthy and being as productive as possible. As usual, I feel like I say this every time, but I truly, truly mean it. I hope you guys are doing great. I am missing you guys so much, and I can't believe that we're already wrapping up the end of the school year. It's insane to think that we've been in quarantine for this long, and I'm sending all the positive vibes over to you guys. I know how hard it can be to be at home all the time. I hope that you guys are taking the opportunity to go out walking or biking or grabbing some fresh air. But yes, I hope that you guys are doing well. I miss you guys so much. And with that being said, today I will be reading a quick story, and it is again on Amazon Kindle. This book is called Like Pickle Juice. Oh, this is so bright. Like Pickle Juice on a Cookie. And you guys can find this on Amazon Kindle, just like the My Fox Ate My Homework story. And this one is pretty quick. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish this within like 3 parts. And yeah, with that being said, let's get started. So this book is called Like Pickle Juice on a Cookie. The chapters are pretty quick, so don't be alarmed when I'm like, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Chapter 1. I had a bad August. A very bad August. As bad as pickle juice on a cookie. As bad as a spider web on your leg. As bad as the black parts of a banana. I hope your August was better. I really do. Chapter 2. My bad time started one morning when my parents sat down in my room. We have some difficult news, they said. I hate it when they say that. I mean, they have terrible news. It means they have terrible news. Just rotten. The last time they had difficult news, they had lost my hamster. Her name was Dr. Biggles. My dad had left her cage open. We went from door to door in our Brooklyn apartment building. In our Brooklyn apartment building, we asked all the neighbors, "Have you seen Dr. Biggles?" But we never found her. I tried to think what news could be as difficult as that. "Did Grandma Sadie die?" I asked. "Of course not," said my mother. "Grandma Sadie is in excellent health," said my father. "Why would you ask such a question?" said my mother. "She is the oldest person I know," I said. "I thought she might have died. That would be difficult news." My mother shivered. "Yes," she said, "that would be very difficult news." "Nobody died," my father said. Chapter 3. "So, what is the news?" I asked. My father looked at my mother. My mother took a deep breath. "BB is moving away," she said. I blinked at them. I could not speak. BB is my babysitter. She has been my babysitter my whole life. She is the best babysitter in the world. She makes me soup when I am sick. She holds my feet when I do handstands. She knows which of my teeth are loose and which ones I've lost, and where I was when I lost them. She rubs my back when I'm tired. She takes a needle and a thread and sews up my pants to make them fit right. And she knows not to tickle me because I hate to be tickled. BB cannot move away, I said. She's moving to Florida, my father said, to be with her father. He's sick. He needs her. I need her, I said. BB cannot move away, I said again. You are 8, Eleanor, my mom said. You are getting so big. You don't need BB as much as you used to. Everything will be okay. I started to cry. I don't want to get so big, I said. Everything will not be okay, I said. This is as bad as somebody dying, I said. And it was. It was as bad as somebody dying. Chapter 4. We had a going away party for BB. All of her friends came. Angela and Connie and Blossom and Dee. Everyone gave her presents, except for me. I could not make BB a goodbye present, or pick one out. My mom gave BB a picture of me in a pretty frame. BB said she would keep it by her bed, so she could see me when she woke up and when she went to sleep. Everybody at that party cried. My dad cried. My mom cried. Angela and Connie and Blossom and Dee cried. BB cried, and I cried. I cried a lot. It was not a fun party. I hope you never go to a party like that. I really do. Chapter 5. At the end of the party, Bibi put her presents in big shopping bags. Then it was time for her to go. Maybe we shouldn't all go outside with Bibi, my dad said. It'll be very sad outside. It's sad inside, I said. I want to go, I said. So we all went. My parents helped Bibi get a cab. Then we hugged her, and she hugged us. And she climbed into the cab and pulled the door shut and turned toward us. And the cab drove off. And now I know the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world is a cab, driving farther and farther away with Bibi in the back seat, waving goodbye. Chapter 6. The next morning I woke up and wrapped myself in my blanket and went in the living room and sat on the sofa and waited for the sound of Bibi's key in the door. I knew I wouldn't hear Bibi's key in the door, but still I thought, maybe she forgot something. Maybe she changed her mind. Maybe your dad got well. So I waited and listened and waited and waited until my mom came in and sat beside me and held me tight. This feels just awful, she said. We sat there together feeling awful. Then she said, should we have something special for breakfast? Some chocolate chip pancakes? No, I said. With powdered sugar? No, I said. Cinnamon toast with extra cinnamon? No, I said. How about pickle juice on a cookie? She said. Would you like pickle juice on a cookie? And then I had to smile because that was just ridiculous. After Bibi left, my mom took a little time off from work. We'll get through this together, she said. But there were lots of things we could not do. We could not call Bibi because she was away at the hospital taking care of her sick father. We could not call Grandma Sadie either, because Grandma Sadie would ask me about Bibi. We could not go to Roma Pizza because Bibi loved Roma Pizza. So Roma Pizza reminded me of Bibi. We could not ride my bike because Bibi helped pick out my bike, so my bike reminded me of Bibi. We could not go swimming at the gym because Bibi was scared of swimming, so swimming reminded me of Bibi. Sometimes, after I told my mom what we could not do, she would ask, is there anything we can do? So I would let her read to me and bake cookies with me and take me to the Flatbush Avenue Diner because I didn't want her to get too cranky. We are now on chapter 8. One day after breakfast, my mom said, I have to make a work call now. I'm very sorry. I wish I didn't have to, but it's an important call. I'm afraid you'll have to be quiet and you can't interrupt. Then she picked up the phone and started dialing. That call went on forever. Finally, I pulled on her sleeve. Will you ever be done? I whispered. She frowned at me and shook her head at me and put her fingers to her lips. That meant no. She would never be done. I left her there on her very important call and decided to look through her clothes. I like looking through her clothes. I tried on her long black dress with beads on the straps and her highest heeled shoes. Then I opened a dresser drawer, my favorite dresser drawer, full of fancy scarves. Grandma Sadie sends my mom those scarves. I took them out one by one and unfolded them and set them down until I got to the navy one that's covered with cherries. Bibi loves cherries. Before she moved away, we used to sit at the kitchen table with a bowl for me and a bowl for her, and a bowl in the middle for the pits. We'd eat all those cherries and spit out the pits. Bibi would always remind me not to swallow the pit, and I never did. I never swallowed a single pit. I didn't ask my mom if I could have her navy scarf that's covered with cherries. I just took it and hid it under my pillow and decided to keep it there forever. After her very important call, my mom sat on the couch with me and read 5 whole chapters of a book to me. She didn't even stop when the phone rang. We'll let the machine get it, she said. And when we got to the happy ending, my mom's eyes got red and her cheeks got blotchy. Are you crying? I asked. She laughed and touched her eyes. I guess I am, she said. I always do. It's true. My mom always cries at happy endings all of a sudden. As I was watching her cry, I glanced at her neck, where she sometimes wears a fancy scarf. My own face got hot, and my heart felt funny. I jumped. Wait right here, I said. I'll be right back. Then I ran to my room and threw aside my pillow and grabbed the cherry scarf, which looked a little crumpled. I smoothed it as best as I could against the top of my leg and ran to my mom's room and pulled over the drawer and folded the scarf and slipped it in. Near the middle of the stack and the closed drawer fast. I slipped it in near the middle of the stack and closed the drawer fast, but tried not to slam it and ran back to my mom. I was breathing fast. I tried to stop breathing fast. I tried to look perfectly normal. My mom raised her eyebrows at me. "What's going on?" she asked. "Nothing," I said. "Are you sure?" she asked. "I'm sure," I said. Then, hoping to distract her, I said, "Can we make some grilled cheese?" It was a perfect distraction. I love grilled cheese," my mom said. We went into the kitchen, and as I watched her take the bread and the cheese and the butter, I decided that I never wanted to see another fancy scarf again. Chapter 10. The next Sunday, as my mom was leaving to visit her aunt, my dad came into my room. "Guess who I just saw in the lobby?" he asked. He looked very happy. I couldn't think of a neighbor who would make him so happy. So I said, "George Posada?" George Posada is a New York Yankees baseball player. My dad loves George Posada. My dad laughed. "It wasn't George," he said. "Then who?" I asked. "Agnes," he said. "From the apartment upstairs. She was there with her mom. I invited her to come play with you, and she's coming." My mouth dropped open, and I sat straight up. I started shaking my hands at my dad. "I don't like Agnes from upstairs," I said. "You don't?" he said. He didn't look happy anymore. "No," I said, "I don't. Agnes from upstairs is scary. She never talks to me or smiles. And one time in the lobby near the doorman's desk, she jumped on her brother and they both fell on my feet and I tripped over them and landed hard on my arm. Bibi was there. She helped us up and fussed at them. 'You see all these people?' she said, wagging her finger at them. 'You can't be so wild.' Then she brought Agnes and her brother to their dad and took me upstairs and put ice in a bag and laid a towel on my arm and held the ice on the towel on my arm. For a good long time, I liked sitting there with Bibi holding ice on my arm. So I never told her that before she even started, my arm was feeling fine. I said to my dad, "I don't want to play with Agnes." "But your friend Pearl is away," he said. "So many of your friends are away, and I want you to have fun. Summer is supposed to be fun." "Agnes is not fun," I said. "Oh dear," my dad said. "I'm not sure what to do." He looked worried. "Call her mom," I said. "Tell them not to come." "But Agnes might feel very hurt," my dad said. I glared at him. He still looked worried. Finally, I said, "If Agnes is coming over, you have to stay with me the whole time." "I will," he said. "I promise." And I'll stop there and continue the rest of the story within the next one or two parts. All right, see you guys soon.